Cribbs here, and welcome to Workout Wednesday. Dealers, come on in. We're going to be talking about one thing today, and that is prospecting, right? But we're going to talk about some prospecting that maybe is a little bit different. We all know about the obvious ones, right? The phone calls, the follow-up, the things we've been working, people that we can reach out to that have been in our store. But I want to talk today about some prospecting in some other areas that I don't know if we'd call them out of the box, but they're simply things that sometimes go untouched, where there's just a playground of prospects for us to tap into. So buckle up, and we're going to talk about three different areas. The first one's going to be Facebook Marketplace. Now, a lot of you, that's not going to be an epiphany. You know about Facebook Marketplace. Some of you are working it very well. In fact, we've got some great examples of that. So we know that it can be a very successful place to go and prospect. As a matter of fact, for me personally, it's a place I need to be every single day. So let's talk about what that looks like. So obviously on Facebook Marketplace, you have private sellers. So what I'm going to type in is, cars for sale near me. I'm going to filter that down to owner versus dealer, and then I'm going to go through those and begin to message those customers. Now, one of the things that I'm going to recommend is that you do not message with the usual message, right? They have that kind of templated one that says, is this still available, right? And the issue with that is if you're savvy in Facebook Marketplace, or maybe the old Craigslist, let's say the old Craigslist, it's just that so much more traffic now has moved to Facebook Marketplace. We know that there are those auto-generated things trying to get your information. Consumers are now wise to that. There's also scammers trying to get you to send them money and do different things. So we want to avoid that generic template of is this available. So you want to type in your own message. And here's a message that I would suggest, and that's just being very direct, very upfront, because remember, these leads are leads that you want to just go through and almost I don't want to use the word robotically, but you need to look at these as a replenishing source of opportunity that we're going to work a numbers game here. In other words, we're going to just contact everyone. We're going to hit every one of them as quick and as hard as we can, and there should be a replenishing amount of these prospects or potential leads every single day on Facebook Marketplace. People are selling their cars and adding to that advertisement. So let's go back to that initial contact, right? So what I'm going to suggest is that you just are very upfront and truthful. The fact is, you want to make them a cash offer today. The question is to the person who's selling the vehicle, right? Is a dealer going to waste my time? Is a dealer even worth pursuing? All those things, right? So here's exactly what we're going to say. We're just going to ask them right up front, hey, this is Dave. Are you open to a cash offer today from a dealer? In other words, we're disclosing right off the bat that we're a dealer. Don't pull any punches, right? Hey, would you be open to a cash offer today from a dealer? Would you be open to a cash offer today from a dealer, right? And then you just wait for that response and that dialogue. Now, if there's some questions about, well, how much would you pay, sir? Sir or ma'am, whatever the case may be, right? Sir, here, I don't know exactly what we'll pay. We would definitely need to see the car, just like anyone that would come to look at your car. Remember, just like anyone that would come to look at your car, right? Just like anyone that would come to look at your car. What I can say is this: you'd be surprised, right? Because remember, they may be thinking very low. Is this going to be worth my time? Is it a waste of time? Mr. Customer, I think you will be surprised at what we could offer, though, because we're paying more than ever. We do have some things that are on our side. We offer financing to customers, which gives us another revenue stream and makes it easy for a customer to buy from us, where most of the time you would need to find a cash buyer. The other thing is that right now the market's really, really strong. We've had more traffic. We are low on inventory. We just need the car. It's not a sales pitch. We'd really like to make you a cash offer today. Is it possible that you could bring the car by, right? That kind of thing. So that type of dialogue. Now, if you want to go further, obviously you want to go further if that particular lead or prospect allows you to. So for example, we always want to go right back to a normal practicing deal once we begin that dialogue and actually get some engagement from that customer. So when a customer is open to that, by the way, or if they say, well, I don't really want to do that right now, I want to try on my own, either way, now we want to go into maybe another qualifying question, just like we would at the lot, right? We want to ask them, by the way, hey, obviously you are selling your car. Are you replacing one? Are you looking at purchasing something? And if they say, well, actually, Dave, I'm buying a new car. Maybe they bought a new car, right? But if they say, well, I'm looking to buy this, hey, would it be okay if I sent you some options as well? We have actually 2 or 3 vehicles just like that here on the lot right now that I think might be attractive for you, right? It's just a way, but remember that this is, again, this is a plethora, by the way. I mentioned it earlier, a playground for prospects, right? The beauty of it is that we have people, think about this for a moment, people that are in the market right now in real time, right? When I place a Facebook Marketplace ad for my car for sale, it pops up immediately, and it means that I just listed it. I'm in the market right now to sell my car. That's what we know for sure about them. We'll find out more as we have that dialogue. But the point is, that's coming up in real time every day. I am going to hit those people. What a prospect to know that they're in the market right now, whether it's to buy or sell, right? So again, Facebook Marketplace, make sure you're dominating that space and coming up with all kinds of different ideas. Go in other parts of Auto Dealer University. You'll see ways that we contact customers and leads on Facebook Marketplace that are successful. So let's go into another thing because we're in the essence of time. I want to keep this running and I want to talk about some other areas. There's a big one coming up, by the way, that you want to stay tuned, and I'm going to make that the last one because it's huge, right, for prospecting and building relationships. So let's go to number 2. Number 2 is simply incentives, right? Let's think about this for a moment. Most of you that are watching, not all, but most of you are part of a new car franchise, meaning that you have brand new vehicles that come with factory incentives. We talk about in other parts of Auto Dealer University about the hidden incentives, right? The unpublished incentives. And oftentimes, not only us as salespeople, but even our sales managers, desk managers will overlook some of these hidden incentives. So if you're in management, make sure that you're going in and checking these out. Look at here's an easy source, by the way. If you go on Edmunds.com and you look up new car incentives, it will give you a breakdown of what's going on from the factory to the dealer. But the hidden incentives are the ones that aren't so obvious. We pretty much always know about the rebate, the college rebate, the military. Most of us are all up on that. Maybe the credit union memberships like USAA, things like that. But then you get into some interesting hidden incentives. So for example, I've actually used this in my own purchase for vehicles that I've bought. I'll give you a couple of examples. One was here, and these are regional, right? So that's the reason you're going to research these on Edmunds.com. You can punch in your region to make sure as to what pops up. But one of the recent ones that when I purchased a Dodge Challenger, and I actually got $1,000 of hard money, not fluffy rebates, right? Hard money incentive that goes right to the dealer to allow them to sell the car for less or hold more profit. But it was if I was a member of Future Farmers of America, right? So of course I look at that incentive because I'm in the market for Dodge Challenger. I look at that incentive and I say, okay, if I'm a member of Future Farmers of America, what is my qualifier? In this particular case, I can't remember if it was 30 or 60 days I had to be a member. So I went ahead and became a member. I think it cost me $25 just to sign up to become a member or contributor to Future Farmers of America. I knew, by the way, ahead of time, this is not as spontaneous, this particular rebate. But if you have people that you know might be purchasing a vehicle and there's a time qualifier, you got to be savvy about this. Don't use that rebate or go after that rebate where there's a time qualifier if you have a current customer right now that's in the market, right? We don't want to hold them off from purchasing anything. But when we're working with clients, and we have plenty of them, by the way, that we know are a little bit further out, we want to be able to send this information to the customer so that they know they could pick up an additional $1,000, right? But here's the good news. There are additional hidden incentives. I'll give you another example that there are no time qualifiers for. So for example, when I bought my Ford Mustang, I received a $500 rebate for being a member of Quarter Horse Monthly. Quarter Horse Monthly was just a magazine subscription, right? I think it cost me $35 to buy the annual magazine subscription. I was able to print off my proof of membership right then and there with no time qualifier and get an additional $500 on that Ford Mustang. The point is, go check out and see if you have any type of hidden incentive. Give you another one real quick. We'll move on to the big one here. The big one is coming. A third one, by the way, is just recently I looked here in the Florida region. Obviously, that's where we're kind of working from here in the Tampa Bay area. And I looked up and I discovered that General Motors on a Camaro had a $2,000 hard money incentive for anyone who owned or traded a Mustang, Ford Mustang in for a Camaro. Now here was the cool thing. I say in for because there was obviously a trade-in incentive, but also there was a non-trade-in incentive. In other words, if you had a Mustang registered to you, could be an older Mustang, you're going to receive an additional $2,000 in hard money for going to Camaro. That's a significant difference, and I would almost bet that there are many Chevrolet dealers that were never asking the question. There were many of them that probably didn't even realize it, but many of them that weren't asking the question, hey, do you happen to have a Ford Mustang? Anyone in the family have a Ford Mustang registered, right? So that we could pick up that additional $2,000. But the real opportunity there was in the prospecting area. In other words, being able to post something, for example, go into a Mustang group on Facebook and put in, hey, Chevrolet or General Motors taunts Ford Mustang owners with huge incentive for Camaro, right? That's something that will get their attention. By the way, what are the 3 ingredients for getting someone in a dealership? Whether it's through the media, through social media, through emails, through phone calls, live phone calls. 3 ingredients, can't help but mention it. 3 ingredients, you got to get their attention. That type of post will get their attention. Number 2 is you got to connect with them, and number 3 is you got to give them a compelling reason to show up at the store. Always those 3 ingredients to really nail down a hard appointment. Well, that's another training. All right, so now I sold you on the big one, right? Number 3 area of prospecting that is often overlooked. This is probably, in my opinion, the biggest opportunity in the auto industry when it comes to prospecting and building relationships that's virtually untapped. And that is using your facility, using your amazing multi-million-dollar facility to host and orchestrate events and meetings for targeted groups. I'm going to give you a great example. Now, oftentimes, obviously, you Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep people that are out there, and obviously we have many of you that are on Auto Dealer University. This one you're going to probably be more aware of, but this can be done at any dealership regardless of brand, because we can move this to the used car area, which would be my suggestion if you have a different brand. But having a once a month or once or once a quarter even, my gosh, but I'm going to say a monthly meeting where you invite Jeep owners, right? You have a tailgate party, whatever the case may be. Just give them a place to come and park. You don't have to provide much, maybe some drinks, some beverages, whatever, but allow them to come and show off their car. My suggestion would be on a Saturday morning early part of the day, maybe from like 8 to 10, even before the store opens at 9. Just a suggestion. But let me give you some others. Right? Maybe you're a Ford dealership. Let's talk to those Mustang owners. Let's talk to those Mustang clubs. You can find these on Facebook. And here's the beauty of this, by the way. When you create this and you talk to the people who are the leaders of these groups, when you create these events, they market, they sell it for you, they bring everybody. The word travels like crazy. So the point is, we've got to begin to think about hosting things at our dealerships, our great facilities where people are there, right? This is no different than having a tent sale. We're just doing it a little bit differently with virtually no cost to this event. You can even do it as an individual salesperson, you can arrange these things. Let me give you another one. Uber drivers, right? Oh my gosh, who's buying cars more often than an Uber driver, right? They're running their miles up. They have to be in a fairly new car. They're looking for service constantly, right? They're getting service 4 or 5 times the rate of a normal customer. This is a great way to build a relationship with a prospect that not only that one Uber driver, but you've got to think about the entire Uber community when it comes to this. If you could captivate Uber community, you'd probably be set when it comes to sales. So, and oftentimes we even have, going back to those incentives, right? Oftentimes we have manufacturers that are offering specific incentives to Uber drivers. So make sure you're capturing that, make that part of your campaign. But just hosting an event, Uber drivers have something in common, right? There's a community. So get in those Facebook groups and create these events at your store. You can do it on your own, even as an individual salesperson. You just need to run this by management to get this kind of orchestrated. But you'd be amazed. And again, the most underutilized prospecting tool, I think, in the car business is not maximizing our multi-million-dollar facilities, right? By the way, guess what else? Our multi-million-dollar facilities are landmarks in the community. They're landmarks in the community. So everyone knows where they're at geographically. So very easy to host and create meetings there, and you can go on and on and on with your imagination as far as groups of people that you could have come in to your stores. So I'm going to end with that. Hey, those are 3 areas to think about, but get your mind going and get your traffic driving to your store and to your desk. We'll see you soon.